Let's talk about the feeling of overwhelm at work. And I've made some notes because I do not want to forget anything. Now, the feeling of overwhelm is a big issue. Is a very big issue, especially if you're in a highly pressured work environment. So if you're in one of those kind of work environments where work no dey finish, your work does not finish, you keep working and working and working, and it looks like you are in an unending cycle, please watch this video to the end because you're going to learn a couple of things from this video. Now, the first thing that I think is very fundamental that I do is I don't process tasks through my mind. My mind is very sacred. I am not I am not neurotypical, so I know that in my head there are like 15 screens, and I get easily distracted, and I overthink things sometimes, and so there is just a lot going on in my head. So in order to keep my mind secret, and in order to make sure that I'm relatively mentally okay every day to show up at work, I do not process work through my mind, meaning that I do not actively sit and think and think and think about my work. I just show up and do my work. Okay? Now, instead of sitting down to overthink about those pieces of tasks, get a cup of coffee or tea or whatever works for you. Sit down, start peeling off the layers of those tasks. So there is a big, giant thing you need to do, right? Instead of thinking, how will I do it? Who will I call? Well, sit down and say, what is the first step I need to do? Schedule a meeting with another team. Put that meeting in the calendar. If it's on the calendar, it will probably happen. Okay, start from there. I need to draw up an agenda. Draw it up. I need to make a list. Make that list. I need to review this work. Review. Instead of thinking about reviewing it, review it. Instead of thinking about putting the meeting on the calendar, put the meeting on the calendar. There is power in mini actions. Mini, tiny actions. Rather than thinking, oh, and I need to do this. Write it down. Do it. Do it. Every single day, you are taking action on tiny, tiny things that accumulate to give you that rating as a top performer, rather than thinking about doing it. Okay? So, overthinking is not going to help you. Overthinking is going to make you plummet into another world of anxiety because of overwhelm from your tasks. Okay? Now, there are some meetings that are very important. And depending on the caliber of people that will be in those kind of meetings, it can really, really get you anxious, is the word. It can really get you anxious. Now, when it comes to those kind of meetings, what you need to do to reduce your level of anxiety is to prepare. So rather than overthinking what the outcome of the meeting will be, why not prepare for the meeting? Okay, and it depends. Preparation for meetings depends on the kind of people that are going to be in that meeting. There's some meetings that I would go that it would take me probably like 10-15 minutes to prepare for the meeting. There's some meetings that I would attend that would take me upwards of 4 to 5 hours to prepare for those meetings. Now, if I understand the kind of meeting that it is, and I understand the value that that meeting can have on my career if it goes well, I will then determine how many hours I need to prepare myself for that meeting. There are some meetings that don't even have an agenda. Like if you're just thinking about, it doesn't have a customized agenda for me to show up to those meetings. There are some meetings like that. I need to come up with what I think may be discussed, and those are the ones that take time because you want to sit down and think of the length and the breadth of anything that may be discussed there. And in those kind of meetings, there are two things I do. I prepare an agenda in order to move that meeting in the direction that I want the meeting to go, especially if I'm leading the meeting. And number two is to have open all the documents I think may be needed in that meeting. My gut is almost always right. Okay? So I want you to be intentional about not thinking about work, but doing the work. And I want you to put in the time it takes for you to prepare for very important meetings. Okay? I think we've discussed that. If I'm not working personally, then I'm not thinking about work. It's just a mental law that I've put in place that has helped to reduce my anxiety. If I am not working, if I want to think about work, then I'm going to get my laptop and I start working. And for me personally, I don't, another thing that has helped me is I don't run by the normal principle of Monday to Friday is work. Saturday and Sunday is not work. So so on Saturday, when I am sitting there, I'm not doing anything, and there is this giant thing I need to do for Monday morning at 9 a.m. Because the society have said a particular time is for work, another time is not for work, then I'll continue to pressure myself. I continue to think about it rather than do it. I'll pick up my laptop and do what I need to do. And that's how I've been able to grow in my career. It's as simple as that. I know you will hear the exact opposite of this thing I've said on social media, but that is the fact. I feel more stressed personally from the work I have not done than from the result of the work that I have done. And because I want to make sure that my stress level is reduced to the lowest, irrespective of, I don't have a particular fixed timeline to say between this day I cut off work. No, I can rest on weekdays, I can rest on weekends, I can work on weekdays, I can work on weekends. The laws that men have put down together is not going to impact how I view my tasks and how I do them. That is just how I thrive. Okay? And doing a 1 hour out of 24-hour day on a weekend is not going to kill my boundaries or going to kill my creativity or going to stop. That is just what it is, right? So I personally try as much as possible not to think about work when I am not working. If I ever have to think about it just because it's so burdensome, then I pick up my laptop and I do the work. Okay? So this is the model. I don't think about the work before I get to work. Okay? But what I do is I get up, I show up at work, I do the work, I go home. Okay? Rather than I'm sleeping, I'm thinking about it, I'm waking up, I'm prepping my kids for school, I'm thinking about it. No. Instead of thinking about it, I'd rather pick up my laptop to do it. Okay? So, like I said, your mental space is very, very sacred. So you want to sort of be careful. You are limited in terms of energy. You're limited in terms of what you can do as human. So you want to make sure that you are maintaining a safe mental space for yourself. Okay? If you ever feel like you need to deeply think about, like overthink a piece of work, just get it done rather than thinking about it. Okay? And in my case, I'm going to say something before I talk about the second brain system. And that's just basically thinking about the load of work that you have and having a priority system. Okay? And thinking about who can help you do some of those work. If there's someone that can help you, bring the person on board to help you do some work. Ask for help if you absolutely need it. Okay? Now, I have a second brain system. Just because if I keep everything in my mind, in terms of things I need to do, I will keep sort of thinking about it. But if I write it down somewhere, then I can always go back there. So I use the OneNote app for my tasks. Mostly a very long list of things I need to do. I have Google Doc for my writing and all my new ideas. I have a hard copy journal that I also use, especially for my big ideas, that I can then do some drawings, some map out, some strategy things and all of that. I have my second brain system that basically helps me store all my ideas and all the list of things that I need to do. Okay? Now, this is a very important point. When people call you, we need to do this. What I think most people hear is, we need to do this right now. But that is not the case. Someone who is telling you to do that, especially your boss is telling you to do something, is because they do not want you to forget it. Because I work with a lot of career starters, when I'm also trying to give tasks to my team members, I don't just give them tasks. I tell them when I expect it to be done, so that we are all on the same page. Because I see a lot of people, it's not priority. I just want to get out of my mind that we need to do this. Then you just leave everything you're doing, go and do that thing. Meanwhile, there's something that is of more or greater priority. So you must always understand that when people give you tasks, they are not essentially telling you to do it right away, except they say so. And if you don't know what they mean, ask, when is this due by? Or when do you expect me to turn this around? Now, it may also be the case that your boss may then come back to you to say, when do you think you can give me? Now, that is a very good question, because that is an opportunity for you to then look at everything you have on your plate, estimate a good time you think you can turn it around, add buffer to it, and communicate that. Okay? So, I mean, do one thing at a time. Be flexible with your time. I've said that flexibility before. You need to be flexible. Don't go with the, oh, Monday to Friday is work, Saturday and Sunday is no work. Meanwhile, you're dying on Saturday. You can't even enjoy the party you are because of one work that you have not finished. You are on Sunday, it's the same thing. Then on Monday, you are so flustered on Monday morning. Be flexible. Be flexible with your time, okay, so that you can give yourself peace of mind. And I'm not saying work, say 1 hour on a Sunday, 1 hour, just 1 hour can change the game for you throughout that week and can make you significantly happier throughout the week. Just 1 hour of prep, 1 hour of loading your calendar with the things you want to do for the week, 1 hour of solving one simple one simple problem that you thought was a problem. Just because the weekend you've rested and you pick it up, you just get the solution, you solve it, can make you significantly happier during the week than you ignoring it. And because at the end of the day, it's your responsibility. Okay? So you want to think about that. Another thing that can help you is Pomodoro. It works. Even sometimes when I study, I use Pomodoro because it just makes me, like I said, I'm not neurotypical, so my mind, I get easily distracted. If not because this is recording right now, if it was not recording, I would have moved on to 2 or 3 other things. I get easily distracted, so I use Pomodoro. 20 to 25 minutes on my smartwatch, and I don't do anything. I don't pick up my phone. I don't do anything. I just go knee deep into the work and do the work. If I feel like I take the 5-10 minutes break, if I feel like I have energy, I go under 20-25 minutes slap. And I do that multiple times a day, especially for things I really don't want to do. Mundane things, I don't want to do them, so I do that. Right? The most important thing I'm going to say is this: speak up when you feel like you're dying under pressure. You shouldn't feel like that about work. And I'm not saying the work is not going to be there. If you work in a highly pressured environment, you will work. There's going to be work. But I'm not saying that there's not going to be work. But there is a safe level of not overwhelmed. There's a safe level of workload is what I was looking for, that you need to have, that will keep you going, keep you interested in the work that you do. There's a safe level. When you start feeling like it's bordering on your mental health, like if you're not working, you can't do anything. Like, I've gotten to that burnout phase before, where it feels like my head is going to explode. You need to be talking. You need to be asking for help. You need to get your priority game on. You need to get your project management game on. And you need, especially all those mundane things that you can already do. There's somebody else that can do it. It's not adding value to you. You are not adding value to it. Please, put it on the table and let somebody else do it. Clear your desk for more strategic, more important, more meaningful things that will continue to grow you and your skill set and your career. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.